What's up everyone, my name is Anthony, and in this video, I'm going to do some technical analysis on the broader market indexes, including the S&P 500 as well as the Nasdaq tech sector. So just to recap some of today's price action, we are down around 0.3% in SPY and around 0.8% in QQQ. So that means this account is making a lot of profit today just because we are heavily involved in puts. And of course, all of these trades are signaled on my Discord, so feel free to join if you are interested in that. The link is in the description, or I'll also pin a comment as well. But just in terms of what we can expect in the future, I'm hoping to get some more greed into this account because I'm anticipating a pretty large downside move in the near future, and I'll talk about that right now. So now we're on the chart of the S&P 500, which is here in SPY. So I want to kind of bring up the technicals of this wave 5 of 5 of 5. A bunch of nested wave 5s up here. The top was around 454, and now we're working on a correction of the upside since the COVID drop. So as you know, we dropped for COVID, and then we had a rally, a very bullish rally up to here, and it looks like we're starting to correct some of that upside. So to start off that, we have over here a WXY structure, which forms a Y leg, and then we have an X leg right here, and it looks like we're going to form another Y leg down here. So that would create some kind of ABC structure, likely some three-legged structure to the downside, as you can see here. That would take you down some of these lower levels, maybe around 420 to 427, and you can go even as far down as 400. So those are just some targets to look out for on the downside. But in terms of looking down to deciphering this price action, I want to break it down on some smaller time frames. So over here, we have a WXY to form the W wave. So a WXY. And after we bottomed out here for the Y leg, we are moving upwards for this X leg. And as you know, X legs tend to find some resistance around the 0.5 to 0.618 retracement zones, which are I've already labeled out right here. So to get those levels, all you need to do is take the top of this wave 5 here and drag it down to the bottom of this W wave like this. And you'll see those red zones mark the 0.5 and 0.618 zones right there for you. So if we zoom in on this X wave and the subdivision, so we have an A, B, C to the upside, and this C wave is taking on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I actually want to zoom in on that wave 5 right here. So go down to the 3-minute time frame. So if we zoom in really carefully on this, so let's go all the way in. So we have a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, wave 4 down, and a wave 5. This is what I have currently. It is subject to change just because this wave 4 is really short. And if we do have the structure, this does qualify as an ending diagonal. We have a three-legged move upward for the wave 1, so an ABC, and then an ABC, and then an ABC, then a wave 4, just kind of really small one, and then an ABC upwards for the wave 5. And that would complete your X wave because that completes your C leg, your wave 5 of the C of the X. And now it looks like we might be starting the initial move of that Y leg downwards. However, this price action here, this sideways consolidation, isn't really enough information for me to decide whether or not we have actually started that second leg of downside, that significant move to the downside. I will need a little bit more price action. So hopefully with tomorrow's price movement, I can make a more better informed decision of whether we started that Y leg or not. And of course, I'll keep updates in the Discord when I do have the information. So in terms of SPY, this is looking good so far. This looks bearish to me. If we look at the QQQ, it's pretty much the exact same structure. So over here, we have the top of those wave 5s, just like in SPY, and then we formed a WXY to the downside. And of course, this WXY is very choppy, so we have that initial choppiness to that start of the move. And so I've seen some people label this as an ABC, and I would hesitate towards labeling it as that, just because this initial start of the move is not impulsive, or you can't really label it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern in any way. So if you try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just doesn't really work. It doesn't really meet those qualifications, in my opinion. So this choppiness means that we have to label it as a WXY, and that just means you have an X leg down here, or sorry, a W leg down here, an X leg up here, and then now we could be working on the start of this Y leg downwards. So if we zoom in a little bit once again, so let's go down to this time frame here, and so we have an ABC upwards, because as you know, X legs need to be a 3-move pattern, so we can't have an impulsive structure. And as you can see, this move here is clearly not impulsive, so this further confirms the bearish sentiment that I have over the broader market indexes. So we have an ABC, this wave C is forming a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and then a wave 5 up, This wave 5 is forming another ending diagonal, and this time in the triple Qs, it is more clear. So we have a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up, and each one of these legs is non-impulsive, and that just means it forms a 3-legged structure. So we have an ABC for the 1, kind of like a WXY for the 2, then an ABC for the 3, ABC for the 4, right here, and then we have a very clear ABC for the 5th wave, and that rejected right at the 0.618 retracement level. So once again, these dotted red lines are exactly the Fibonacci retracement levels that are very common for rejection of the X wave. And then we, so just in combination with this, we kind of had a triple top here. So we tried to go past the 0.618, failed, rejected, came to retest it again, popped above it for a little bit, then failed, rejected, gap down, then tried one last time, couldn't push past it, rejected, and then we had that huge gap down today. And then we kind of consolidated right after that. So with this consolidation pattern here, it's not really bullish or bearish to me at the moment. Like I said in SPY, I will need a little bit more price action to determine whether we can come up a little bit more or we just start tanking for that Y leg downwards. So we'll see in a bit, and of course I'll keep updates. So things are looking bearish in general. It's just what happens over the next trading day or so is a little bit unpredictable, but overall in the next week or so, I think the trend is set to downwards and correcting. That's going to be it for SPY and QQQ. And of course, VIX here is just kind of confirming it. We are heading downwards because we have moved upwards for this X leg, and we haven't actually touched this support zone yet. We kind of just been hovering above it. So there is a chance that we could try to touch the support zone right here around 16.5. And then once we do, we can push upwards. So this support zone right here may correlate to a potential temporarily push to the upside, whether that's just extending this X leg upwards for like some kind of wave 5, something like this. That would lead to VIX cooling down just a bit more. And then once we do reject at some technical zones, then we would head downwards once again for a Y leg. And that would cause your VIX to spike up just like this. And we would probably try to retest at least some of these trend lines up here around 23, 27, and even around 30. So things are looking bearish and VIX is there to confirm it. So now we have Moderna stock, or MRNA. So this is a pretty interesting stock. I'm going to go back to the 15-minute time frame and zoom out just a bit before we dive into the specifics. So over here we have a laundry list of just extended wave 5s, and now we tried to correct after that. So we had an A leg down, B leg up, and then a C wave down. So we have this A wave subdividing into a very clear impulsive structure. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had this B wave trying to keep the stock afloat for as long as it can, just trying to stall out price action. So that's why it formed a WXY structure. This W formed a triangle, so an ABCDE X wave. As you can see, if you zoom in on that price action, it's very clearly non-impulsive. So this kind of indicates that this stock wasn't ready to move downwards in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern structure yet. So you can't really label this as an impulsive structure. So if you try to force something like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just doesn't work. So this indicates that we were going to push up again for another leg of upside, and that formed your WXY structure to complete the B wave. So after we topped out here for the B wave of this Y, we moved impulsively downwards for the C wave. So we have a wave 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. So that's what the price structure may look like. In terms of what we have so far, this wave 1 is very clearly impulsive. So we have a 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, 5 down to form that wave 1. And then we have this wave 2, complex correction, so a WXY, and that really helps try to keep this stock afloat as much as it can. But then no matter what, we're still going to come down impulsively for this wave 3, and that's exactly what we got. So I'm going to zoom in on the 3-minute time frame to kind of point out that. So over here, we topped out for the wave 2. So this is the end of that complex correction for the wave 2. And then we moved downward, so a wave 1 up, 2 down, or a 1 down, 2 up, 3, 4, 5, and then we have that forming the wave 1. Then a wave 2 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a really important confirmation. So within this wave 3, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to point out that this wave 3 of 3 is that really pure confirmation of this bearish signal that I was looking for. So I was looking for an impulsive sell-off, but this is a really clear indicator that we are having the correct wave count, because this wave 3 of 3 was that pretty impulsive sell-off. So the stock probably fell, I think, around like 3 to 4%. And yeah, around 4 to 4% in like a couple minutes, and that's exactly what you are looking for these type of waves. So far this is confirming perfectly the count. And last time I was in this video, I was talking about the stock. We were sitting right around here, and I was saying that I was looking for that impulsive sell-off for the wave 3 of the C, and we did get that. So looks like it's confirming our count and looking good so far. So Next we'll move on to Tesla. So Tesla is a great indicator of the broader stock market indexes because it has a large share in both Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So after we topped out here for the wave 5, we have an ABC correction, and then this formed a W leg, and then we're working up for an X wave upwards, and then we're working on a Y leg in the future. So this X leg here forms a WXY, and there are of course a lot of internal subdivisions, like you can have an ABC here to form that W wave, and the X here, and then another ABC to form the Y leg, and that's exactly where we are right now. So the rectangle right here, this white rectangle, represents the first set of Fibonacci extension zones and retracement levels. And this red rectangle represents a very high probability chance of reversing if it does get up to those levels. So far we are still in that white rectangle. So I do think we could actually reject somewhere here. If we do come up to this red rectangle, that's a pretty good entry for bearish positions in my opinion. And as you can see, this is having very clear similarities with the markets. This is moving up for an X wave. The markets are also on a smaller degree X wave here, but it looks like they're both starting to show signs of reversal. We're kind of stalling out at some technical zones, both in as well as in QQQ. Tesla is falling the same, so we're kind of stalling out here. We're trying to push up a little bit higher, but as you can see, if we take away all the indicators, this move is very clearly non-impulsive, and that indicates that another leg of downside is needed, and that's what your Y leg here. And for those of you who are curious, the way to tell is like if you can't really label this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for example, you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, you can kind of like force it, but it's very hard to, especially this wave 4 is crossing right into that wave 1 territory here. So just to emphasize that when you have something like looks like this very choppy price action, it's likely some kind of recovery push as part of a broader scale correction. And that's what we see here in Tesla. And that makes sense because Tesla is looking to sell off soon, just like the markets. So they're kind of confirming each other. And I want to point out Nike. So Nike is another good representative of some of the broader market indexes, and this is kind of giving you evidence that stocks are already starting to sell off, and they're just kind of bearish in general. So we have that wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up, and that rejected right around the 1-to-1 extension of this wave 1. So perfect rejection, kind of textbook wave theory here, and we sold off now, and this looks very impulsive, like a wave A downwards. So we have kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. We're kind of working on that wave A now, and then we should have a B wave in the future, then a C wave downwards. So Nike is looking bearish. It's already showed evidence that it's bearish, and this is just evidence that stocks need another round of correction, and Nike is just evidence that stocks can correct and that they need to retrace some of the upside, especially since the COVID drop and then the rally since then. So that's what they're looking to correct as of now. So that's pretty much just confirming the bearish sentiment that I have over the markets. And next, I want to look at BABA. So I had a lot of requests to do some Chinese stocks. So here, we bottomed out right here around 150, kind of that roughly around there. And then we had a WXY structure forming. So this is a very complicated structure. So I would avoid trading this as much as possible because we have a WXY for that W wave, then a WXY for a W of an X, and then a Y. And that whole thing is your X structure. So as you can see, there's a lot of overlapping complex corrections. And complex correction just means a WXY structure. So when we have that overlapping of choppy patterns, it can kind of create this look, as you can see here. But it looks like we might have found some temporary support for this X wave because it kind of rejected right around the 1.272 zones. It tried to go below it, failed, and then we had that kind of sell off, or not sell off, the push to the upside, that green push here. And yeah, BABA is up 3.52%, so that could be part of this Y leg up here. So we would expect this Y leg to form some kind of three-legged structure, so an ABC or even just a WXY, either one works. And some kind of evidence towards that. So whenever you see this kind of just purely green structure, whenever you see like just green candles, that's very indicative of a non-impulsive structure. Just for the record, whenever you see this thing, that doesn't happen in a sustained bullish move. Whenever you see stuff just go green all of a sudden and barely any red candles, it's pretty much indicating that you're doing a corrective type of move. So this Y leg, as you know, is corrective because it has three legs. So overall, we should have a WXY. So temporarily bullish on the stock, just slightly. But because the markets are looking to turn downwards and turn bearish, this might bleed into stocks like BABA. So I would avoid taking on any bullish positions in general on any stock, just because markets need that a little bit more, another leg of downside, and they're pretty close, in my opinion, to hitting that level. So I'm going to be looking out tomorrow to see price action of the markets to get a better sense of which direction they want to head. We could push a little bit higher, of course, to try to retest some of maybe this 0.618 retracement zone right here, or maybe even higher Fibonacci zones and resistances. But in general, even if we go up, we're going to still have this Y leg of downside, and that's what I'm looking to target. So we just need that confirmation and we're good to go. So that's going to be it for this video. Of course, I'll post updates in the Discord with all the trades that are going on and any market analysis or changes that I see. But as of now, things are looking great. Good confirmation. X-Wave looks normal. So with that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.